Welcome to the Cryptosphere. This is Cryptogenic coming at you. Today is Thursday, August 4th, a little bit before 1 p.m. here in Northern California. And in today's video, I'm going to give you 3 TA, technical analysis methodologies for discerning the bottoms of the crypto cycle, the market cycle. 3 different methodologies for discerning the bottom. That should give us a good idea of where we are right now. Secondly, I'm going to look at a short-term analysis of the market to kind of get a feel for what's going to happen in the next few days to the next few weeks. All right, so let's jump right in. I've got a clean Bitcoin chart here, and the first methodology I'm going to use is simply to look at a historic trend line. Starting from 2013, if we draw this trend line, what we see is that we touch the line here, 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 and we're coming close to it again. So historically, we have honored this line. Historically, whenever we come close to this line or touch this line, we're at the bottom. We broke beneath it one time over here in 2015, and that means that if you bought at this line, you bought here, 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 and you might have an opportunity to buy here. So we've come close to this line now. We have not touched the line now. But if we kind of look at the levels of where we have touched the line began over here at about $57, and then over here again at about $66, and then over here again at about $150, over here in this realm again at about $214, then over here again at about $3,800, okay? So what if you would have just put $1,000 into Bitcoin every time we touch this line? If you could go back through history and put $1,000 into Bitcoin every time we touch this line, where would you be right now? Well, here's how we would do it. We would say 1,000 divided by 57.63 plus, let's just copy this whole formula here. $66.02 plus $149.32 plus $214 plus $38.47. All right, so you would have 44.12 Bitcoin. And if we take all of that and times it by the current value of Bitcoin, which is $22,463, your current portfolio would be worth $991,266, and you would have put $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 into Bitcoin. So you would have invested $5,000 over the last 10 years, a little less than 10 years, and your current portfolio value would be $991,266.70. So not a bad ROI, from $5,000 to almost $1 million, and all you did was buy at this line, which is crazy, right? All right, let's try a second methodology. Let's delete this. We're going to get rid of all those drawings. Second methodology is simply to buy at the 200-week moving average. So what if every time we touched the 200-week moving average on the weekly chart, you bought? Well, you would have bought here, okay? You would have bought here, you would have bought here, and you would have bought here. All right. Obviously, you made 4 buys instead of 5 buys, and you didn't buy back here in 2013 because there was no 200-week moving average yet. So you started buying in 2015. If that were the case, how much would your portfolio be? So you would have put $1,000 in at 231.45, and then another $1,000 in at 32.58. Another $1,000 you would have put in at 52.05, and your final investment would have been put in at 22.210. All right. And then we're going to delete all of the rest. Your current portfolio would be worth $109,275. So you would have invested $4,000, and your current portfolio value would be $109,275. So scenario 1, the historic trend line, you invested $5,000 and you got $1 million. Scenario 2, the moving average, the 200-week moving average, you invested $4,000, you got $109,000. Okay. What's scenario 3? All right. What's scenario 3? So I'm going to once again delete all of this. Get rid of this moving average, hide it. Scenario 3 is the RSI. Now, if we just maximize the RSI and say, what if you bought every time the RSI touched this line? 1, 2, 3. You would have bought 3 times. And what would the values be? Well, the value for this buy would have been $148. The value for this buy would have been $3,200. And the value for this buy would have been about $19,300. So you see we're getting less and less. You've only made 3 buys here. So you made 5 buys with the first, you made 4 buys with the second, and now you've made 3 buys. So if we calculate what your portfolio would be, 148.99, and then the second buy would be 30, let's say 3208, and then the third buy would have been 19,300 roughly, 19,300, and then that's it. Let's delete the fourth buy. Current value of your portfolio would be $158,934. Why? Well, you would have bought over here earlier than the RSI, than the moving average method. So, with scenario 1, you bought 5 times, and your portfolio is almost $1 million today. With scenario 2, you bought 4 times, and you're at $109,000. Scenario 3, you bought 3 times, and you're at $158,000. But here's what's even crazier. What if you put all 3 scenarios together? Okay, so we're going to go back over here and redraw this historic trend line. Okay. And then we'll turn on the 200-week moving average. So, what do we see? You bought here, 2, 3, 4, that's the same, 5, and 6. So you bought 6 buys. So basically you buy 5 buys if you follow the first scenario, 4 if you follow the second scenario, 3 if you follow the third scenario. But if you put all 3 of them together, you've bought 6 times. And your portfolio value would be well over $1 million because you're adding a 6th buy to that mix. So what all of this evidence does for me is it strengthens the proposition, the likelihood that we are at or near the bottom. Basically, historically, let me get rid of this. So what this does for me is it strengthens the supposition, the likelihood that we are at or near the bottom. Historically, when at least 2 of these criteria are met, it's an opportunity of a lifetime to buy Bitcoin and to enter into the crypto market in general. Historically, if you go back over the last 10 years, if even one of these criteria are met, it's an opportunity of a lifetime. If you could just go back and say, every time we touch this trend line, I'm going to buy, or every time the RSI hits the bottom, I'm going to buy, or every time we touch the 200-week moving average, it's a buy. Oh, actually, it looks like we touched one more time here with the RSI, so there would have been one more buy here. I don't know how I missed that. But anyway, the point I'm making is that right now, 2 of these criteria are in play. We are meeting 2 of the criteria at this very moment. What's going on here? Sorry. My computer's going crazy right now. It's real slow. But we've met 2 of those criteria. 1, we bottomed out in the RSI, and 2, we're at the 200-week moving average. And so historically, this is an amazing time to buy. However, I think there's a good chance that we might come back down and retest, maybe touch this historic trend line, which means if we come down and touch this historic trend line, this is in all likelihood, an opportunity of a lifetime to enter the crypto market. So taking a look at my normal chart, what we can see is that we are capitulating beneath the 200-week moving average, okay? We're breaking back down beneath the 200-week moving average. We closed 1 candle above it, and now the very next candle, we're capitulating beneath it again, and it looks like there's some room for the RSI to come down. And if the RSI comes down and tests this line, the good news is we'll have a higher low in the RSI, which is bullish, but we could have a lower low in the price, which would be bullish divergence. It's good. Whether we have convergence or divergence, if it's in the lows, it's bullish, and so that's good. But if we take a look at this daily chart, what we can see is that we're in a bear flag, and we've got bearish divergence in the RSI. So here in the highs, from this high to this high is a higher high, whereas from this high to this high is flat. So that's bearish divergence. That's telling me that the upward momentum is over on this whole bullish move. The bulls have pushed it as far up as they can. We're now retesting this 21-day moving average here, 21-day exponential moving average here on the daily chart. And if we capitulate beneath it, we'll probably be coming all the way back down to this channel and perhaps even to test this line. And if we break beneath that, if we actually break down bearish out of this bear flag, we're coming back down to retest 17,582. And the crazy thing is we could have one more bull movement up before the ultimate breakdown, which means we could even touch $26,500 and still be in this bear flag. But the likelihood of us getting up there is very low, seeing that we're already seeing bearish divergence in the RSI. And so with that being said, I'm still expecting a breakdown. Now, when we take a look at the 4-hour chart, it's even more clear that this bearish movement, we hit the top in the RSI back here on July 30th, and it's been bearish ever since. I'm expecting the RSI to come down and retest this line at least, and it could very well break beneath this line and come all the way to the bottom before this bearish movement is satisfied. And so I'm expecting at least 21,778 before we get a real bounce and take another swipe at the top. But already we're seeing over here we had a higher high in the price and flat highs in the RSI. So this, and not to mention, if you go back even further, the bearish divergence is even more pronounced. Over here, from here to here is a higher high, but we had a lower high in the RSI, and then we had flat highs in the RSI. So the energy is leaving the wine here, and everything is pointing towards another capitulation downward if you simply look at this very simple methodology of comparing price action with RSI. So that's what I'm seeing in the on the Bitcoin chart. Just looking at the total, this is the market cap chart for the altcoin market, excluding BTC, and I'm seeing very clear bearish divergence here. So if you look from this high, or let's say from this high to this high, is clearly a higher high, but in the RSI, it's flat. Look at that. From this high to this high, it's flat. So the RSI is, and not to mention the RSI is in an ascending narrowing wedge, which is bearish. And so I think we're at least coming back to test the bottom of this line, and we could actually be breaking beneath it to come back to test one of these lines. There would be actually another line of support here that could catch us. So we'll simply be watching it to see. But the volatility is not over, folks. I really don't think the volatility is over, but that is good news for your friends and family who have yet to enter into the market. And so this does not guarantee that this is a good time. I mean, looking at this weekly chart, actually. Whoa, what's going on here? Oh, my goodness. What's happening? I don't know what's going on. Looking at this weekly chart, we could break beneath this historic trend line. The fact that we've not been beneath it doesn't mean that we're not going to break beneath it. We could. Anything is possible in this crypto market. However, for me, the most historically tenable position is that we are at or near the bottom, and the longer we linger down in this area, the better, because this is an accumulation opportunity, but it's also probably an entry point. However, I must say that this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not a guarantee of anything. I'm simply looking at the indicators in the chart, and the indicators in the chart give us an indication of the psychology of the members of the market. And it seems to me that from a historic perspective, every time these conditions have been met, this has been a fabulous time to enter the market, and I have no reason to believe that it's any different where we stand right now. All right, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening. Once again, remember, this is not financial advice. Use your adult brain and make your own decisions. Enter this market at your own risk. Please do me a favor and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment to let me know what you think of this content. And above all else, make it your aim to sleep in peace, wake in joy, and walk in love. This is Cryptogenic, signing out.